Friday evening, the 25th day of April, the year 2025. Our reporters have been up and about, interacting with different issues and different people, and they have brought you different stories tonight. Here are the top ones. The world continues to mourn the death of the late Pope Francis, who is said to be laid to rest tomorrow. CS Alfred Mutua defends President Ruto's government, says it will deliver all its promises. Pastor arrested and church shut down in Kilifi after cultic practices allegation. Investigations continue. And Kenya para-athlete James Mangerere targets double glory in Morocco in shot put and javelin. This is KUTV Primetime News with Mutegi K. Martin. Indeed, and our sign language interpreter tonight goes by the name Sami Okello. Welcome to the broadcast. Now, Labor and Social Protection Cabinet Secretary Alfred Mutua has strongly defended President William Ruto's administration, asserting that it will fulfill all its promises to Kenyans before the next general elections. Speaking during the 7th annual general meeting of the National Social Security Fund, NSSF, Mutua commended the fund's progress over the years, saying it reflects sound governance, growing public trust, and the potential to transform lives through strategic investments. He emphasized that none of President Ruto's flagship projects have stalled, assuring the public that implementation is on track. His remarks come amid increasing pressure on the government over delayed promises and rising public concern.
Currently, you hear people making a lot of noise. Oh, Kenya, 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 Kenya. But the good thing is that if you ask President William Ruto today, you promised us this, where are you? The president and this government can highlight to you clearly, we said we will be doing this is where we are. We are doing this. None of the projects that the president has ever promised has not started. They have all left the station and they are continuing.
This administration is doing its very best to ensure that public resources are utilized efficiently.
Kenyans, just watch this space. By the time we go to the next general elections, you'll be able to ask your member of parliament, you'll be able to ask your member of county assembly, your governor, your senator, you'll be able to ask His Excellency the President, ulisema hii iko wapi? And I can assure you I have no doubt in my mind, fully confident, that all those questions that we promised the people of Kenya will be delivered to the people of Kenya because they are all on progress. Hakuna kitu imekuwa.
Now, the Devolution Empowerment Party of Kenya, popularly known as MBOS, has announced its intention to sever ties with the ruling Kenya Kwanza government, accusing it of abandoning the core interest of the ordinary Kenyans. Speaking at a press conference in Nairobi, party leaders lamented being sidelined since their initial agreement with Kenya Kwanza. They emphasized their need to first strengthen their party before re-entering any future negotiations as equal partner. Notably, the party admitted that it has never signed a formal agreement with the Kenya Kwanza government, a factor they believe may have contributed to their marginalization.
The Bas Party is non-aligned. The Bas Party is autonomous. The Bas Party is independent. we are currently not in any formal coalition with any political party. And you know, all those agreements, the coalitions, they are all registered with the registrar of political parties. So we have no agreement registered with the registrar of political parties with any party. We don't have such an agreement with UNDA. We don't have such an agreement with NAK Kenya or any other party, for instance.
We cannot support Kenyans, Kenya Kwanza, if they are not addressing the issues that Kenyans are complaining about.
We as a party, we exist alone. And we are not going to merge with any other party until Jesus comes.
All right. President William Ruto continues his official visit to China on its third day with a tour of key innovation and development cities in Ningde City, Fujian Province. Among the highlights was his visit to the headquarters of Contemporary Amperex Technology Co. Limited, also known as CATL, a global leader in electric vehicle battery manufacturing. President Ruto commended the company for its significant role in advancing clean energy solutions and fighting climate change. He also toured the Ningde Poverty Alleviation Exhibition Hall, where he lauded China's leadership, past and present, for its notable strides in eradicating poverty and improving livelihoods. And with ballooning pending bills becoming a financial thorn in the flesh for counties, the Controller of Budget has sounded the alarm over unrealistic revenue projections by governors. But the Council of Governors is pushing back, blaming the national government for shortchanging counties in the budget. Our reporter Yvonne Kemuma has more.
With the numerous pending bills choking county operations, the Controller of Budget, Dr. Margaret Nyakango, has raised alarm of exaggerated revenue projections by governors, warning that the practice is pushing devolved unit into a financial crisis. Speaking during the annual Institute of Certified Secretaries Conference in Mombasa, Dr. Nyakango says that some counties continue to make financial commitments based on unrealistic on-source revenue estimates. This move she describes as a major contribution to the ballooning pending bills.
Again, in that process, part of the monitoring is that what will happen if the person responsible for the pending bills does not do what they have undertaken to do. I think there is a lot going on right now, and please let's compare notes. Same time next year, things will have changed completely.
She further warned that without financial discipline and realistic budgeting, the credibility and functionality of devolved units could be compromised. Additionally, she also refuted claims that budget officers had attempted to bribe her office during the requisition approval process.
I don't need anybody from the counties. I have enough staff to analyze the documents which are brought. Those documents can come by courier, and we look at them, and I will approve and sign, and they'll go to the CBK.
On the other hand, the Council of Governors Chair Ahmed Abdullahi has however defended the county governments, blaming the crisis on the national government's limited allocation to counties, which he says only receive 10% of the total national budget.
47 counties get only 10% of the annual budget. This country has a 4 trillion budget every single year, and counties get something in the region of 400 billion, which is just 10%, to do all the 14 functions in the fourth schedule, which functions are critical to Kenyans. Early childhood education, health, water, and all those other functions, including agriculture and livestock, only get 10% for the 47 counties. So I do not believe, from where I sit as chair of council, that the problem of this country, the problem of financial burden, is a problem of the counties. The problem of financial burden is a problem of mismanagement of debt, and is a problem of the national bureaucracy not shrinking even after devolving a lot of services to the counties.
Governor Abdullahi emphasized that the issue is not with the 47 county structure, but with an expanding bureaucracy and a rigid cash-based financial system. Abdullahi also called for a fairer share of resources, including a constitutional allocation of the roads maintenance levy to counties. Yvonne Kimuma, KUTV.
And the autopsy of the late Kariobangi North Ward MCA Joel Munuve Kimanzi has officially commenced at Lee Funeral Home. Speaking to the press outside the morgue, advocates Danstan Omari and Robert Alai confirmed that the body has been conclusively identified as that of Honorable Munuve. Omari stated that a panel of 7 pathologists is conducting the post-mortem led by Chief Government Pathologist Dr. Johansen Odwor. The panel also includes representatives from the Munuve family, the hospital where he was reportedly taken after the incident, the Nairobi County Assembly and the Nairobi County Executive.
The pathologists who are here in our company have since given us a report as to what they have discovered from the analysis of the remains of the late MCA. Now, the upshot of the matter, as it shall soon be revealed by the doctors, is that the Honorable Munuve had difficulties in breathing, which was caused by a blood clot on his veins, the pulmonary vein. That explains, at least at the preliminary stage, what could be or what could have caused his death.
I was part of the team here, and Mr. Ashoya is here, and Mr. Kokebe. They were also lawyers who witnessed this particular process. Indeed, the county assembly was represented also by honorable councillors.
18 minutes past the top of the hour, time for us to take a short break right here on KUTV Primetime News tonight. Keep it here.
Baada ya kutafuta kazi, tunaweza kuanzisha miradi yetu ambayo ingetusaidia kubadilisha maisha ya wazazi wetu.
Kwa vijana wenzangu, wengi hawana kazi, lakini ikiwa sisi wenyewe tutajiamini, tunaweza kujiajiri wenyewe.
Afrika kwa kweli tuna mahitaji ambayo ukiyasuluhisha unaweza kuathiri watu kwenye bara hili.
Bila uoga, watu huwa na uzalishaji zaidi, wanajawa na ujasiri, wanakuwa wabunifu na wanakuwa wenye maarifa.
Niliamua kuacha kazi, hata kama sitafanikiwa, nitakuwa nimejaribu, nitakuwa najua haiwezekani.
Hakuna kitu cha ajabu hapa. Kila anayepata ufanisi hufanya kazi usiku na mchana.
Kitu kitakusukuma na kuwezesha kupata maarifa ambayo hukuwa nayo.
Tunajaribu kutengeneza kitu kitakachopita mipaka ya nchi hii.
Ikiwa unataka kubadilisha ulimwengu, anza na nyumbani.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more, only on Law Matters.
Hi, my name is Stella Tioi.
Jina langu naitwa Okemwa Mokwa James.
This is Mandela Gaya.
Ugonjwa ulipokuja ulichukua siku 3 ukaniweka in coma. 20 wamezikwa, 2 ndio wako hai.
I don't even know how it feels to see.
I feel like I cannot express myself well the way somebody who can walk can actually express themselves.
Ilichukua muda mwingi mrefu tena mpana ili kuikubali kwamba mimi siwezi tembea tena.
I've come to actually accept myself.
Ukijaribu kumsimamisha mtu umwambie tafadhali nionyeshe njia,
They find it quite strange talking to you.
You should just make schools integrated
Inclusive setups.
by providing the right facilities.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Mutegi K. Martin. And Sami Okello is right here with me as we continue to inform you on what's happening in the country and beyond our borders. Remember, this live broadcast is also streaming live on YouTube at KUTV News Kenya. Talk to us on X at KUTV_Kenya. Now, as the world continues to mourn the death of Pope Francis, local faithful in Kenya were not left behind. The Holy Family Basilica in Nairobi was filled to capacity during a special memorial mass held in honor of the late leader of the Catholic Church. Pope Francis, who is set to be laid to rest tomorrow in Rome, has been praised for leaving behind a legacy of peace and advocacy for the marginalized. Emmanuel Kutosi attended the mass and filed the following report.
You could easily mistake this for Sunday, judging by the turnout. Even though it was a regular weekday, not a Sunday, the Holy Family Minor Basilica in Nairobi overflowed with congregants gathered for a special mass to bid farewell to Pope Francis, who passed away after serving the Catholic Church for 12 years as its Pope.
Pope Francis was a great shepherd, not only to the Catholic faithful, but to humanity, the world, people of all walks of life. He carried in him great virtue of humility. He was a peacemaker. He showed mercy to all. He was a voice of the voiceless, and he impacted the world in his time.
The Mass was led by the Pope's representative in Kenya, Apostolic Nuncio Archbishop Hubertus Matthias Maria Van Mergen, who emotionally recounted his encounters with the Holy Father, describing him as a humble leader, accessible to all, regardless of status or position.
By the way, that idea of being in need of God's mercy was woven through his entire life and pontificate. And Pope Francis did not tire to repeat that he was a sinner in need of mercy. And actually, according to my opinion, that attitude revealed his great holiness, because the holiest people always feel that they are the worst sinners.
Pope Francis's visit to Kenya remains a proud moment when he championed justice for the poor, good governance, and social unity, a message that touched many hearts.
Maybe the most important moment of that whole visit was his trip to Kangemi slum, speaking and calling for solidarity and the equitable distribution of resources. And his visit left an everlasting impression in Kangemi.
In the city of Rome, thousands of faithful and pilgrims from all corners of the globe turned out in large numbers, enduring long queues in hopes of seeing Pope Francis one last time before his burial tomorrow.
Wailaze mahali pema peponi. Tunasema ni shukrani sana kwa taasisi kuungana na watu wote duniani tunapomwombea Mungu aendelee kuwafariji Wakristo wote duniani, sababu tumepoteza kiongozi wetu wa kanisa Katoliki.
To many, Pope Francis will be remembered as a man of peace, a messenger of mercy, and a voice of hope.
Good deeds to the people. He used to take care of himself and others in Vatican, and also he used to care for the needy who were homeless and did not know what to do.
One lesson that leaders should emulate from Pope Francis is
listen much, speak little, but work more. Let your work do the talking, because Nehemiah 4:9, prayer without work means nothing, and let your work be accompanied by your faith.
Made us believe in our voice, and our voice make us be understood. Even if, most youth, you realize most of us, we are sidelined. So you find with the time, with the Pope coming out and encouraging us to speak out our problems, make us to be heard even to the society.
Because the Pope is one person who inspired me, Pope Francis, who inspired me so much in life, and the way, because of his humility.
Now, all eyes turn to the College of Cardinals, who after 2 weeks of mourning will begin the process of electing his successor. In 1936, a baby boy was born in Argentina, and 17 years later, Jorge Bergoglio would choose to be a member of the Society of Jesuits, a journey that will see him at the helm of probably the largest congregation of Christians all over the world. But maybe according to his culture and nature, he would break the borders of the Catholic Church as the whole world now bids him farewell after a journey well run. Emmanuel Kutosi, KUTV.
Thank you, Emmanuel Kutosi. Now, former President Uhuru Kenyatta joined citizens and several opposition leaders for a memorial mass in honor of Pope Francis at the Holy Family Basilica in Nairobi. Kenyatta described Pope Francis not only as a leader of the Catholic Church, but also as a global spiritual figure who greatly influenced people of all faiths. Akida Kasim attended the mass and filed the following report.
On Friday, the Holy Family Basilica in Nairobi transformed into a platform of mourning and remembrance for Pope Francis, a figure who touched the hearts of many around the world. Among those present was retired President Uhuru Kenyatta, who stood alongside several opposition leaders, a rare scene of unity with political differences set aside for the solemn occasion.
The life of a man who truly walked in the path of Jesus. A man who, despite his high position, did not walk in and amongst the high and mighty of the world, but rather, like Jesus, chose to walk amongst the poor and those most in need.
Uhuru Kenyatta reflected on Pope Francis' visit to Kenya in 2015, highlighting the Pope's message of justice and inclusive leadership that transcended Catholicism and reached people of all backgrounds globally. He described the Pope as a beloved leader.
So for the first time as president, another head of state threw me out of my own office. Quite incredible. But the most important thing was not even that. The most important thing to me was that here was a man, a leader of billion-plus people across the world.
On her part, Chief Justice Martha Koome delivered an address on behalf of the judiciary and the government, describing Pope Francis as a leader who embodied compassion and charity for people around the world.
We stand with the Catholic Church to mourn and celebrate the great servant of God, His Holiness Pope Francis, who served the Lord with distinction, tirelessly working
opposition leaders in attendance included former Public Service Cabinet Secretary Justin Muturi, People Liberation Party leader Martha Karua, and Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka. Pope Francis will be laid to rest tomorrow on Saturday in Rome at the Vatican. Akida Kasim, KUTV.
Rest well, Pope Francis. Now, the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, KEPSA, is calling for sweeping reforms in the proposed Finance Bill 2025 to promote tax efficiency, industrial resilience, and inclusive growth during a high-level engagement in Nairobi with key parliamentary committees. KEPSA presented its case for co-creating a competitive and investor-friendly fiscal framework. The meeting, held on March 25th, brought together lawmakers, private sector leaders, and development partners to chart a sustainable economic path forward. KEPSA emphasized the urgency of a proactive policy making as the government faces growing pressure to stabilize revenues and support local enterprises.
So it's quite unfair to businesses that when we require them to honor their tax obligations, they do it and they do it on time. But when in the event that they have overpaid their tax obligations, then it takes up to 3 years, up to 5 years for them to get that particular refund. If you go through numerous audits, and even after going all that, they are told, yes, we have approved your refund, but don't have the resources, we don't have the money to give you back. And this is money that you had already paid. So one of the recommendations we're going to discuss with National Treasury and KRA is the possibility of having a VAT refund fund to take care of those
issues around budgeting and expenses and revenue generation, so that by the time the budget paper is out, the thinking is aligned. And because we believe we are partners, we worked very closely with Parliament over the years and really made some great strides for this country. And so we felt that this is an area that many times we are chasing time, but also competing interest. And so we really wanted to engage and also just give industry positions. And then Parliament is able to balance that, because we will put also impact, and they're able to see the harmonized positions of business and as an engine of economic growth. So
the government, in partnership with the European Union, Water Sector Trust Fund and West Pokot County, has launched an 83 million shillings water project aimed at tackling water scarcity in arid and semi-arid areas. The project, located in Mtembur and Kitakapel villages within Mnagei and Riwa wards of Kapenguria constituency, is set to benefit around 11,000 residents with access to clean, safe, and reliable water. Now, speaking during the commissioning, Water and Sanitation Cabinet Secretary Eric Muga also re-emphasized the importance of the initiative in enhancing water access for marginalized communities in remote regions.
Kumbuka His Excellency the President alipozuru area hii, moja kati ya zile mikataba ambazo muliandikiana ilikuwa kwamba watu wa West Pokot wapate maji ya kunywa na pia ya kulima, si ndio? Tutazungumza mambo ya siasa ama tutazungumza mambo ya kazi? Nimetaja miradi zaidi ya 7 West Pokot County. Tunapozungumza leo hapa West Pokot, hapa Kitale Kapel, tumefungulia maji kwa mfereji, maji yako manyumbani mwenu.
Water is life, and I'm sure the residents of West Pokot, especially this place from Kopoj here to Tembura and Kitarakapel, this water is sufficient and most advantageous because it is being driven by gravity. So that means the cost of maintaining or sustainability is very low.
I know Waziri has been counting these projects in every other county. Yeah. The magnitude of things that this government is doing, which we need to appreciate. The other day, somebody woke up and asked me, are you constructing a stadium as a government? And we say yes, the biggest stadium. And he said, why don't we know? We only know about Kasongo. I want to say it is important that Kenyans start to realize that this government is changing environments.
All right, welcome back, and this is Sports News. As Team Kenya battled it out for glory in the ongoing World Para-Athletics Championships in Marrakech, Morocco. Our sports reporter, Auma Evans, caught up with Kenya's sole representative in the men's shot put category, James Mangerere, in training before the para-athletic team jetted out of the country.
James Onyinka Mangerere is leaving nothing to chance. His sights set for a bigger trophy, he tells me.
I'm not looking for a medal because I've got many medals. And if you get a medal without a qualification mark, it means less to me. So my whatever right now, my aim currently is to make sure I've qualified for Commonwealth Games. And that one will come, mark my words.
It will be his first stab at shot put in his career, and the stakes are high. As para-athlete with well-proven track record in javelin, shot put is a different beast.
What's there is the commitment to make it. That's what I know. So the excitement part of it comes out when you've done it and you've qualified and you've made Kenya proud. That's when I'm gonna be excited. But for now, I have to work hard, very, very hard, so that I sprout as one of the shot putters in Kenya in a Paralympic events in my class, which is F57.
With the expectation to fly Kenyan flag high in Marrakesh, Mangerere will be banking on his experience to go for a double.
Shot put is a complex event. As complex as it is, you need to have the right technique. The right technique so that you can, if you don't have the right technique, definitely the implement becomes a load to you.
With the Commonwealth Games and Olympic Games qualifiers ticket up for grab, I pose the question, does he have what it takes to go for a double?
But when you have the right technique, it becomes easy and it flows freely. The short time that I've been here working on it, it's enough for someone who is committed to do great.
With the limited resources, Mangerere admits that the journey to success is not easy.
The resources are not enough to be modifying the equipment to the level that is needed.
But what does it take to be at the very top?
If you commit yourself and know why you're here, I believe beyond doubts that each and every person here is coming with medals. When we go to Morocco, we come with medals.
When all is said and done, the legendary Kenyan para-athletes hope to leave behind a rich legacy and a generation that will be entrusted into limelight.
I'm grooming some athletes because right now I'm headed 36 years, 37 years. So that age also I need to hang my boots and encourage youngsters to come on as I push them also the journey that I used to have.
For now, James Mangerere's focus is to secure Commonwealth and Olympic Games slots in the ongoing World Para-Athletics Championship in Marrakesh in both javelin and shot put events. Auma Evans for KUTV, Nairobi.
Alright, it's 20 minutes to the top of the hour. Thank you so much for joining us for 40 minutes of information on happenings in our country and beyond our borders. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Samuel Kelo. My name is Mutegi K. Martin. Good night.